is a nice Rocky Mountain snowstorm. Difference between the snow here in Steamboat and everywhere else in the world, light and fluffy. For a skier, beautiful thing.
In 2010, I had assumed that I would make the Olympic team. I'd get to check that one off in my book, and then I'd start a real life. Despite not making the Olympic team, I was like, yeah, I'm done. About a year and a half after I had quit, I had become that working man, and it wasn't fueling me. And I couldn't find anything that gave me as much as snowboarding did in terms of just fuel my heart.
All right, Justin, am I wrong, or are we getting close to the peak?
Super close.
I came back, and my first turn, I was just like, holy crap, this is fun.
Strong, man.
King of the hill now, but it didn't come without some serious dedication.
You have to have three major things in order to compete. You've got to have financial readiness, physical readiness, and mental readiness. Unfortunately, when you're working 40 to 60 hours a week, it's really hard to train the 20 to 40 hours that you should be in the gym. I did the math, and I sat down and I lined out all my finances, and I figured out that if I moved to Park City and I lived out of my truck for 5 to 6 months, I could afford to not work for the first time in my life. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Bed was up here, and all the cooking stuff goes down here, and bikes go in there, so that was
This is comfier than a couple New York apartments I know. So,
Yeah, and cheaper.
Yeah, right?
Camped under the stars and worked out every day for 8 hours, and it was great.
Hopefully it's going to take us to Sochi.
That's the idea.
And all of Justin's hard work paid off when he earned a coveted spot in the Sochi Games.
Everybody's got dreams, but mine just happens to be the Olympics. And if I look at it from the bigger perspective, it's quite intimidating. It's something I've always wanted as a kid, so it can be overwhelming. But if I just focus on trail marker to trail marker, hopefully I can keep my mind in check and keep my feet on the ground. Each one of these steps is still pretty special, and it moves us closer to a hopeful goal. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's guaranteed, so you can enjoy each step in between, then you never lose.
I think you should start writing inspirational books after this. It's called Little Blue Trail Marker.
Little Blue Trail Marker, I like it.
I worked for over 20 years with snowboarding. I know what I've accomplished, but I'd like to have that in my pocket just as saying, you know what, I'm an Olympian. That's something that I've always dreamed of and I've worked towards, so I hope I can make it happen. Yeah.
First Look wants to talk to you. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
The road to Sochi is not an easy one to travel, and living the life of an elite athlete is not as glamorous as one might think. Today, I'm meeting up with snowboarder Justin Ryder in my hometown of Steamboat Springs to do some backcountry skiing and see what's driving him to Olympic gold.
My name is Justin Ryder. I'm a snowboard racer, so I compete in parallel slalom and parallel giant slalom. Both are racing events, so you'll have one competitor in a red course and one competitor in a blue course going head-to-head. Parallel giant slalom is a higher speed, much more smooth, rhythmical turns, and parallel slalom is going to be much faster. The gates are going to be very close together, kind of the courses deteriorate, become more rodeo style. It's spectator friendly. You don't have to wonder, is that trick more intense than that trick? Why did that guy win? I don't understand. He went bigger, but this guy did more complex tricks. It's very simple. The first guy to cross the finish line is the winner. When I grew up snowboarding, everybody did everything. We all rode pipe, we all rode slope, we all raced, we all did border cross. But when I turned 17, 18, the sport was changing quite rapidly, and specialization became so important. And so I sat down with my coach and he's like, Justin, unfortunately you'll have to choose.
You probably got a little more speed out of it too.
I love riding pipe, but I love kind of like Ricky Bobby. I just want to go fast. Run again, then slip? Yes. Okay.
Justin Ryder on the blue course.
We were so excited to have parallel slalom as a new sport in the Olympics this year.
We had, prior to this, one opportunity to win medals. It now offers two opportunities for racers to win medals.
Justin Ryder looking very strong into the finish.
Hey, what's up? Justin
Hey.
George Oliphant.
George, nice to meet you.
Nice
Justin
to meet
Ryder.
you. I understand that you have a big backcountry regiment for your training.
Try to.
One of my favorite things to do in the wintertime is skinning or AT skiing or backcountry snowboarding. And what it involves is taking a set of skis or a split board, which is a snowboard that splits in two to create skis, and you put what's called skins on the bottom. And they're named skins because they used to be made out of seal skins. And they're smooth in one direction and then they catch in the other, and that allows a skier or snowboarder to then be able to slide up the mountain.
So how much of your workouts consist of things like this? Once the winter time comes, which is obviously where we are now, right? 70% of the time outdoors, skinning, maintaining cardio, endurance, hiking, trail running. Because if you're lifting all the time plus riding all the time, it's just a big load for the body.
Yeah.
One slopestyle competitor who is paving the way for women skiers is Greta Eliasson.
The first woman I ever saw skiing on TV was Susie Chaffee, aka Susie Chapstick.
Call me Susie Chapstick.
Hey, Susie Chapstick.
That was like the first time I ever resonated with like, oh, like if I want to be like a ski celebrity, you know, I see it. There it is, Susie Chaffee. I could be like her one day. I started skiing when I was around 2 years old. Both my mom and dad skied, so it was just kind of like a family affair. Took my first run at Highland Hills, Minnesota on the rope tow, and my mom told me like the second run that we went on the rope tow, I turned around to her and said, Mama, get out of here, I can do it myself. I started ski racing when I was 10 years old, and I fell in love with being with all the other kids and competing, and then we moved to Norway when I was 13 years old. Made it on the national team when I was 15. I started beating the girls in the World Cup team, so I was already like the best in what I was doing. But for me, it was like I knew the path that I was going, and I knew I would burn out, like no matter what, if I kept going. So the fear of burning out really pushed me to do something else.
And she found that something else, slopestyle, a form of free skiing that focuses on jumps and a variety of tricks.
I just love the feeling of being in the air and going off jumps, so I just followed my heart of having fun, and I can't believe it because my sport, slopestyle skiing, was never even a thought back then. It was just something fun I like to do after practice. I'd like to go to the terrain park and go off jumps, and now it's going to be an Olympic sport. So watching it grow from like nothing to what it is now is really cool.
I met Greta back in 2004, and wow, could really tell that she had something special. And sure enough, she's gone on to just win everything from half pipe to slopestyle, big mountain events, and is just a really amazing all-around professional skier.
These are 7.
Whoa, that was really quirky.
Yeah, good job.
Sweet.
Stuff.
Greta is an amazing athlete, an amazing person. She's really been a pioneer in free skiing for many, many years, and she can really do it all. So she's really a unique and special athlete, and it's an honor to work with her.
Greta, I mean, she's an all-around good skier. She does everything from urban to park to half pipe to big mountain. Like, she can do it all, and she's not afraid of anything. And she's always the first one up and ready to go, and most likely the last one on the hill. So she's all in it.
She's very confident. She looks at anything and she knows that she can do it, and it's really nice to be around her because it kind of rubs off on you as an athlete as well.
What's special about slopestyle skiing is there's such a sisterhood among all of us girls. We travel together, we train together, we ski together. We're stoked when one girl lands a new trick. We're like, oh, shoot, I gotta go learn that new trick. So we build each other up and push each other a lot. Sarah Burke was the pioneer woman of free skiing. There was also Christy Leskinen and Sarah Burke, so 2 girls that were the first sponsored skiers for free skiing. She was the first woman to win the US Open, first woman to land a 1080, countless of other tricks. She was like the first woman, so we just kind of followed her and basically did whatever she did and tried to ski just like her. This is a photo of us when we were back at Summer X Games in LA, and we were actually at the T-Pain concert. I miss Sarah every day, and just looking at all these pictures just reminds me of how much fun we actually had together. There was never a dull moment when I was with Sarah. We just we went for it every night. It was great, and day.
Champion freestyle skier Sarah Burke has died after crashing while training in Utah last week. The Canadian skier was considered an early favorite to win the gold at the Winter Olympic Games to be held in Russia. Doctors say Burke suffered severe brain damage. She was just 29 years old.
It's been a hard transition. You know, losing a close friend like Sarah was, you can't even explain. You can't even prepare for it. For me, it was kind of eye-opening, where I was like, okay, is this really what I wanted to be doing? Like, you know, she died doing what we love. it's crazy to see that she's gone now, but at the same time, like, that gives me even more, excitement to go to the Olympics. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase our skiing in front of the world, and I really hope everyone remembers her, and, we would not be there without her. There's not a doubt in my mind. I had the opportunity to produce a movie called Say My Name, and it's a movie about women's free skiing, everything from big mountain skiing to in the park, whatever it may be. And the reason I made the movie was I wanted to inspire young skier girls to believe in themselves and believe that one day they could become professional skiers if they wanted to. Skiing has been a part of my life since I was 2 years old. I've been competing since I was 10. And it's been a long time, doing the same thing over and over again. And I do have aspirations to do something outside of the mountain one day. For me, it's women's sports. I want to figure out a way to make equality possible in women's sports. I've always felt like I could do more than just what's on the slopes. Of being in the air is like nothing else. You jump up and you go and you have time to grab your ski and then you can think about it. You can even listen to the song you're listening to and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna land, come back down. It's an incredible feeling. You can't even really describe it except that it's pure, it's the closest you get to flying. It's just like in a dream.
There's something about that feeling of weightlessness, that feeling of that human instinct to want to fly or to want to escape the ground, prove gravity wrong is so exciting.
Slopestyle is a series of terrain features, so handrails, wall rides, as well as a series of jumps, all set down the trail.
At the Olympics, you're going to see 3 jumps and 2 rails or obstacles. We call them jibs in ski jargon.
And it's called slopestyle because you want to showcase your style and link everything together smoothly and as creatively as possible.
You basically have that run to showcase who you are as a skier, do all the tricks that you can do, and at the end of the day, the coolest run wins.
No time limits, no criteria, nothing you have to do, nothing you don't have to do. Go down it, do better than everybody else. Simple.
Being a free skier, it's all about doing something different than everybody else. How can you do a trick that's going to be better than somebody else? So you have to think outside the box and be different.
You could watch our sport and watch somebody ski down the course and have no idea what that person's going to do. That person could do a jump on skis that's never, ever been tried. And that excitement, it's unmatched in any other Olympic sport.
Seeing the sport grow from such a small thing to what it is now is incredible. It's absolutely incredible to see slopestyle skiing now in the Olympics.
This is going to be its Olympic debut, so we don't know how people are going to react to it, but I think it's going to be sick. I mean, nobody's really seen the tricks and stuff we do on skis before.
It's amazing to see kind of the response from the Olympic committee, the fact that they want this sport. They want slopestyle, halfpipe, youthful, amazing, exciting, extreme sports like this. It's cool to see the change from the Olympics of the past to the Olympics of the future.
5-10 years ago, we all would have thought, maybe this wasn't going to happen, that we would be in the Olympics. And so now having that stage to showcase what we do, I really hope America's out there watching us and rooting for Team USA to bring home some medals.